I'm heading out today. I got a special project that I'm going to be working on. And it's really windy today. If you look close, you can see the shelter rocking back and forth. And the wind isn't continuous. It's gusty. You're fine for a second, then all of a sudden it's like someone smacks you with the back of their hand. You just have to blast of wind in your face. And you can see that the shelter every once in a while it'll inflate, and then it'll deflate, and then inflate and deflate. It's been the wind blowing into the open door. But it's standing up, it's holding it, so I gotta go out. I'm heading up to my welder. Now I'm gonna be putting a bar at the top of the roll bar for my light bar, and gonna get the cameras up a little farther, and that way my head's not blocking the view. On my ES 950, it's in a perfect place. You can see above me and around me. Like the Monster, it's a little different story because I'm sitting up higher and the cameras are a bit lower. So if you look to my left shoulder, when I turn towards the driveway, you'll see sheet metal sitting in the middle right there. That sack sheet metal is leaning up against the house and it's now in the middle of the driveway, so give you an idea what the wind's like today. So I'm not going to show a whole lot here, but there isn't really anything interesting. If there were leaves on the trees, you'd be able to see the wind a little bit better. There are some leaves on the ground that are blowing around, but for the most part they're still pretty soggy from the winter melt. So they're sticking to the ground pretty good. So I'm going to jump ahead. I'm coming up to the crosswalk over here, and I'm going to be crossing. See that box on the post? Remember that? Because apparently I didn't. I couldn't remember where the crosswalk button is, so I'm backing up. Whoa! Right into the box. Not good for the flagpole. I don't make that mistake very often. But that's what happens when you're daydreaming. You kind of forget what you're doing. So I'm at the welder's now, and he's taking measurements in the diameter of the roll bar and distance here and distance there, just to get an idea what it is that he's looking at, and just kind of gave him an idea what it is I wanted, and just different ideas. So his ideas and my ideas together is what we come up with the trailer hitch that he put on for me. And the battery rack. That's kind of a... Well, the trailer hitch was more his idea. I just kind of gave him an idea where I wanted it, where I needed it to be. And this and that. But with the battery rack, it was kind of a combination of both of us. Kind of giving ideas here and there. So it's kind of what the roll bar is. It'd be more his input than mine with this. I have certain specific things that it needs to do. Other than that, everything's up to him. So it's kind of, I guess you can say, getting the fitting. So that's pretty much all I really had planned to do today. Remember that broken ball joint? Well, I'm driving full speed, but I am trying to be careful. If I get to a bumpy spot or just anything that's like rough, then I slow down for it. But as far as, you know, flat areas, I can drive full speed. It's still only held together by that little bungee cord. It's holding up pretty good. Hasn't come apart since. So I'm kind of trusting it a little bit more. Maybe more than I should, but I've got an idea what I want to do with it in the next few days. But I need a nice day, and it's not really cold and crappy weather outside in order to actually do some work on it. So hopefully those days are coming soon, but it doesn't really look like it in any near future. So trying to be easy with it. you're a regular viewer of my videos, you may remember in the wintertime when I smacked the curb, that crosswalk. My excuse for that was the crosswalk didn't line up with the low part of the sidewalk. Well, I can prove that because I'm coming up to that intersection right now, and my mural blocked part of it, but you can see where the crosswalk comes up to the sidewalk. Only half of the crosswalk is in the low part of the curb and the rest of it's in the high part. And when I crossed the road, they're coming from the other direction, I started to turn before I actually got to the sidewalk. So that's why I smacked the curb, because with the snow on the ground I couldn't see that, and I'm not used to crossing at this particular spot. And also, this is a good example of crosswalk buttons being out in the middle of nowhere. So in the winter time, there's no way you're going to get through the snowbank to actually reach that. And most of the crosswalk signals in our town do not work unless that button is pushed. So you're just kind of stuck there waiting for a car to trigger the light, and then you have to cross on a don't cross signal, and it gets people angry and they yell things at you. You don't have a choice. So there's a good example of it being out in the middle of nowhere. I'm getting back home here. The wind has picked up a little bit. You can kind of see things blowing around a bit. But what I really want to show here is my carpet. You can see it's all twisted up, and to prevent from twisting it more, I have to drive past the shelter, then back up and go straight in. Now it's kind of fine for now, but just kind of remember what I'm doing here, because a couple videos from now you're going to see that's going to be a bit of an issue. It's going to cause me a problem. So, but for now, that's what I got to do. I can't turn on it because it twists it up, so I gotta go in straight. I couldn't really show just how windy it was on video, but later that night I found this and kind of give you an idea what it was like. So yeah, at least one person has died in southern Ontario as a result of very strong southwesterly winds Wednesday, gusting stronger than 100 kilometers per hour in some communities. So it was pretty strong. Now, like I say, it wasn't constant wind, it was gusting. It's like someone reaching out and smacking you. It just, all of a sudden the wind just hits you. So if you're not prepared for that, I don't remember this whole story, but a construction worker, so I'm guessing he was on top of the building or the scaffolding or something. And if you're not expecting it, being up in the air like that, you're more susceptible to feeling the wind. And it's going to cause a problem, especially if you're carrying plywood or something. I know what that's like. It's like holding onto a sail. So it was pretty windy. A couple videos ago, I told you about the lights on the back of the monster, and I tried to do a video for you. Oh, here's the video. There's the O-ring. There's the light. And I'll show you just how quick and easy they are to put on. Just wrap the ring around 2 tabs, stick the light where you want it, pull the ring around, and stick it to the other 2 tabs. I kind of gotta line them up so they're even. More or less it there. Turn it on. And that's all there is to it. I'll show you close up. Damn it. Yeah, there we go. They got different flash settings. This is my favorite one. It's the one I use. Make it that one. Solid. And like that. And these are extremely visible at night. They go for a long distance. And that's how my shovel's attached. I got a bungee cord up on the top. Hold the top in, and then the bungee attached to the trailer hitch to keep it from bouncing out. It's just sitting inside the frame. That's why you hear it rattling when I'm driving. So that's how I've got that set up. And I did the rail trail trip today. Nothing really special, out of the ordinary happened. It was just a typical day. So I'm not going to bore you with any of the videos. What I do want to show is a solution I have. When I come home, I drive past, back up and go straight in, and you notice this tire sitting here. Well, that tire is there for a reason. It's when I drive in and I slow down until I hit that tire and I know that's where to stop. Now the reason I put that there is because I kept coming in a little too far and I kept knocking my charger over. So I didn't want to, because this is just the way the ruts were, you know, sinking into the mud, and it pulled the monster forward into it, and that's where it wanted to be. So even if I tried to stop ahead of that, it would still roll into that spot. So a tire is there to protect my charger. And later on, I'm sitting at my computer doing whatever, and I see this little lightning bolt icon show up on my taskbar, and that's a weather alert. So I click on it to see what it is, and oh good, a snow squall watch. That's what I want, more snow. So got that to look forward to. Snow squalls are likely to develop to the southeast of northern Lake Huron overnight. Snowfall rates under the more intense snow squalls are expected to be in the range of about 10 to 15 centimeters per 12 hours, and may be at their most intense on Friday night. Strong northwesterly winds will also result in blowing snow at times. Conditions are forecast to remain favorable for snow squalls from Friday morning until Saturday night. So that's basically 2 days, so it's wonderful snow coming again. I'm just getting used to it being gone, and it's going to come back. Friday morning now, and our super wind is back. It's a little more obvious today than it was yesterday. I guess part of the reason is I don't have the camera in its waterproof case like I did yesterday, so you can hear the wind a little better than could before. I don't really want to go out today. It's already started snowing, but I have to go out. I have to go to the pharmacy, and I have to go to the bank. So, got to do what you got to do. When I get to the crosswalk here, I don't have to worry about hitting the box this time. 2 reasons. One, I remember last time, and second reason, somebody's already pushed the button for me. So I basically didn't even have to wait. So, it's following this lady along, and turns out she's going to the same place I'm going. Well, hopefully she doesn't think I'm following her. When I come out, I'm trying to turn around because I gotta go back the other way, and I'm trying to rush here because the light's green and I want to cross before it changes, so I'm trying to get turned around. And when I get there, the light turns yellow, but the monster's fast enough. I'm gonna cross and I'm not gonna wait. I couldn't have done that with the ES 950, it would have been too slow. So I timed that pretty good. And you can hear the wind in the microphone here. Next bank here. Parking my favorite spot out front. I'm not in the way of the cars, and I'm not in the way of anybody walking through. Then I get up closer to max. I gotta go to max to get milk. Push the button, crosswalk signal, and you can really see the wind here. The traffic lights are blowing around, and every once in a while you'll see me and the monster rocking. A really strong wind here. Not to mention it's really cold as well. The wind chill is really not nice. Here. You might recognize this intersection out here. This is where the ATV crash was. But this video is actually before that, so it hasn't actually happened yet in this video. But a really good shot of a snow squall off in the distance there. I just wish the camera was pointing upwards a little more. After this, I went to Timmy's to get me a coffee, and I went back home, back into where it's nice and warm. And when I get home, I look at the radar map here, and I have snow squalls all over the place out there. And one thing I want to clear up is the blue arrows on there indicate the wind direction. I had mentioned a while back that the color of the arrow kind of indicates the wind speed. I was wrong about that. It actually indicates temperature. So the blue arrows is around the freezing point, and it's basically 0 to around -10. So it's in that zone. So that's what the color of the arrows mean. But the direction they're pointing to, and when you actually view this map, it's animated, and the wind actually moves and the arrows move in the direction the wind's moving. So you can see the snow squalls are following, the direction of the arrows. So I go to the animated map. Excuse me. You can see the snow squalls out there, and you see that one that's just moving north of Hanover. That's the one that you could see in the video where I was parked at max up in the distance there. So you zoom out, and there's a whole lot of activity out there. The snow squalls go right down into the States. So before I go to bed, I check out the temperature. -19. It's at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like, yeah, they're a little too cold for me. I'm not going out in that. I'm going to bed. So I'm checking out the snow squall warning. That's just after 7 o'clock Friday evening. The snow squalls are expected, 100 snowfall bands, and coming in off Lake Huron as expected. So nothing really new there. But I'm going to check out the highway conditions. Let me show you something I haven't showed yet. And of course, there is a road closure from Godrich to Underwood. surface closed, visibility is poor, and that's typical in snow squalls. And the other one here, the surface is snow covered and visibility is poor. So I'm actually kind of surprised. Let me zoom in here at Highway 4 between Hanover and Durham. Usually during snow squalls it gets pretty bad too, but there's nothing indicating anything there. Some parts of Highway 6 are snow covered. Let me zoom out here, and that one's bare and dry. So you can see in this area here, all the snow squalls seem to be concentrated in this one area. That's pretty typical. So I'm going to leave you with time lapse of the snow squalls from earlier today. Nothing really amazing or anything, but I did it, so I might as well show it, right? So, thanks for watching.